My texts, my emails, my Facebook overflow with love from strangers, people I've never met, people who are not from the United States, but from all around the world, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, all with the same message. We are here from you. My cup overflows with love. That's how you defeat hate.
That was the Tree of Life Synagogue's Rabbi Jeffrey Myers yesterday, as thousands gathered for an interfaith ceremony to remember the 11 lives lost and 6 others who were injured in what is believed to be the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history. Joining us now, Rabbi Matthew Gewirtz. He's senior rabbi for Congregation B'nai Jeshurun in New Jersey. Thank you very much for being on this morning. I'm going to start with a pointed question this morning and ask you if you think that the president's reaction to the slaughter in the synagogue has sufficed.
Good to be with you, Mika and Joe, and back here for this incredibly sad day. And listen, I think back to the 1990s and the rallies that were held in Israel when Prime Minister Rabin was leading Israel. And it first started with opposition, which is fair and good in a democracy. And then slowly but surely, the fringe right started to come in, and Rabin was being hung in effigy. His like was put into a Nazi stormtrooper uniform. And no one ever believed that that would then normalize the killing of one Jew to the other. Yigal Amir then took his life not so long after that. So I think more than ever, our leaders, the president, our senators, our congressmen, our governors, everyone has to stand up and bring the tone down a little bit right now, because if they don't, then we don't know how far this is going to go.
Is it just tone when you see the level of hate over this past week? Does this reveal something even more fundamentally problematic about who we take ourselves to be in this moment, and that Trump is just a symptom of something deeper?
Well, I don't exaggerate when I say that I think the American soul is up for grabs right now, and that we're on trial, all of us. And the president was elected because of its citizens, this country's citizens. It's not all about the president, it's all about who we become. And we've become polarized in a way that has made even simple conversations not simple in the synagogue context. Safe spaces that used to be considered a place where you could have civil discourse are no longer that. And we've normalized what we never thought possible. You know, my grandparents escaped pre-Nazi Europe, came here, worked 18 hours a day to provide a life for my parents and for me. And I'm almost thankful that they're not around to see what they never imagined possible for bringing us to these shores.
Ruth.
Rabbi, good morning. I actually grew up in the hometown of B'nai Jeshurun, so I was at many bar and bat mitzvahs there, and I'm remembering those fondly, even though it's such a hard day for all of us. I'm wondering if you could tell us 2 things. One is what you tell your congregants, how to process this, and also what kind of security measures, don't reveal too much, but what do you already do at B'nai Jeshurun, and what will you do in response to this tragedy?
Both parts. First of all, like many people around the country, we had a vigil which hundreds of people spontaneously showed up for yesterday. And the message is that we are defeated. We are diminished and we are devastated, but we are not defeated. And that has always been the Jewish message. And I'm also encouraging people to do what we Jews do first, which is that today burials will start, and we have to hold our brothers and sisters and to get them through unfathomable times. These families will be irrevocably changed. Then we have to sit Shiva with them. We have to bring them comfort, and sometimes that's in the sense of food and love and embrace that we give. And then we have to do self-evaluation. We have to figure out who we are, who our nation is, who our community is, and how we're going to react, and know that hate speech and swastikas with spray paint, all these things that we see as an annoyance or something that really inflicts some kind of superficial pain for a while is much deeper and can really cause problems. Security, Ruth, is something we've taken seriously for years. We're not quite the way a city synagogue might be protected, but we have 2 armed guards we've had for 3 years already, full-time. And we have cameras all over the place, and thank God we're able to have the resources to do it. But we've had to assess a security charge in every single one of our congregants to make that happen, and we have no choice.
Rabbi Matthew Gurtz, thank you very much for being on the show this morning. It is time now for final thoughts. John Heilman.
I mean, what a day, what a week last week. I think it's clearly the case that we have these midterm elections now coming up in just about a week. It's clearly the case, as we've said now, that there's never been a more vital midterm election, and that it's not just a test of the parties or the test of the messages, but a test of what the American people are going to do. But I do think that no matter what the outcome of those elections are on Tuesday, we have a much larger project at hand here, because the ultimate vote tallies will not get to what is now a very sick state of our body politic and our culture.
Yeah.
That's allowed a lot of this to happen.
Joe.
Well, we've got to rise above this. We really have to. And we'll see what happens next Tuesday. But even more importantly than that, what happens the Wednesday after the election, whether we actually can have Democrats and Republicans coming together, and whether this president, regardless of who wins, will finally stop being a petulant politician who churns up hatred for his own political gain. We'll see.
That does it for us this morning. Stephanie Ruhle picks up the coverage right now.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.